Molly. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you. So, how's your week going?
Good. Good.
Good. Glad to hear that. Really am. So, what is our flavor tonight?
Well, we're going to talk about ley lines and energy.
Well, that's a good one to talk about.
So,
It
and
is.
I thought that would be a good,
Yeah, that is. I think that'd be a good one.
so there's a concept where the ley lines intersect. They're usually called dragon lines. I don't know where that comes from. I didn't do the research to find that out. But it's real powerful. And then there's also um, where you live, there's like, I think it's called cartography that an astrologer can do to find the best place for you to live through astrology.
Right.
So, but and some ley lines they'll go along with you and they'll be fine, and then some ley lines you just aren't supposed to be there at all. You know,
Really?
yeah, sometimes things won't work out and you have to go.
Wow. And that actually makes sense, though, because, a lot of things go with ley lines with the paranormal and the cryptid world, allegedly. So,
Well, yeah, where a lot of ley lines intersects. A lot of times there's a lot of alien activity and a lot of hauntings, because it can, shake up the energy. And then sometimes you can have a portal overlay line.
yeah.
And that's something that you can't ever fix. That's unfixable.
Right. Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then energy, where intent is, energy follows, So you can send energy anywhere, all across the world to somebody that whoever needs it. But always ask that it's for their highest good and they receive as much or as little as they need. Because, you can't intervene in someone's karma. You don't ever want to do that.
No, that's true. I totally agree with that.
Um, and you do have to be careful. Like when you're doing energy work, if you don't feel well or something, you shouldn't be doing energy work on somebody because number one, you don't have it to give, and number two, you don't want to transfer the ick, because you have to be careful.
Right.
Like
Well,
if
that
you
makes
don't feel
sense.
good, you don't have no right touching another person. So,
That makes sense.
but like it's a simple process. Now, too, like there's going back to the ley lines, I'm bouncing back and forth. There is like an energetic grid all over the earth in grid form. If and if you look at that, you can see the different like seven wonders or whatever or spiritual places they line up all across the world. If you look at that too,
Yes.
you can see like the pyramids line up with, I don't know what it would line up with, but for instance, you can just track it, the spiritual centers on the earth. And because it's connected with, along with, the constellations, astrology, and the energetic grid of the earth.
That makes sense. It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ley lines go back to ancient times, though, doesn't
Oh,
it?
totally. Totally. We have like a magnetic protection grid too, which is like in grid form too on the earth itself. That's science.
Right.
But I find it fascinating that Like, have you ever visited someplace that you really loved, or have you ever visited someplace that you did? Ugh.
Yes, I have.
And that's because the energy isn't meshing with your energy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not for you, or something had happened there that your body just went, okay, that energy is not for me. The Indians also say that there's male female energy grids. Like if you go to Sedona, there's male energy and female energy out there.
Right.
So that would go to explain stuff, because there is male female energies.
Yes. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Am I correct?
Yep, it just changes form. Newton.
Right.
I used to say Einstein. Finally got my dude right. Wrong dude.
Right.
And if you guys want to ask questions, ask questions.
So yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Crazy Witch says he got blocked or something. I'm trying to figure that out. I think that was Crazy Witch. And why am I timed out from commenting on YouTube? I have no idea. I'm trying to figure that out. But welcome everybody to the show. Joanne, Kelly Elliott, Neil Duck, and Crazy Witch. You're back. Oh, there you go. Energy lines go all over. So I wonder why you got timed out. What did you do, Crazy Witch? Did you do something? Was you playing in the lane lines? Did you get caught? So yeah. So what happened there? You don't know what happened. You got timed out. Well, I didn't put you in timeout. Well, that was weird. But no, so the ancient civilizations, they used the ley lines, they said the Masons used the ley lines. They said the Masonic used the ley lines, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people use the ley lines for a lot of reasons. The pyramids and all those people. So there is something going along with those. I think Russell, didn't you do some studies on ley lines or something? I think Russell did. Hello, Joanne Stewart. I'm wondering how to ground myself in water. Do I breathe in like meditation? She's asking that.
Yep.
Hello, Barb. Welcome to the show. I thought I saw Russell in here. Yeah, Russell, Easterbrooks. So give us your 2 cents on ley lines there if you're still here. But yeah, give you a couple of seconds there. But ley lines it's very interesting. And if you never, I don't know if I can pull up a map of the ley lines. See if I can pull up a map.
That would be neat if you could do that, because it's very intriguing.
I don't know. How do they ever find these out?
I don't know. We'd have to look it up in history. Who discovered ley lines? You can punch that up or ask Alexa.
Alexa, who discovered ley lines?
Here's something I found on the web. According to TimeToast.com, Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson invented the first landline phone in the year 1876, revolutionizing communication.
Landline.
Yeah, landlines, right?
Landline.
That's probably my accent. Because I can never get the speech to text to work on my phones or any of my devices, right? So if y'all never know what, here's one map it looks like for the world.
Okay.
So it just shows you what the different ley lines look like. So I don't know which each color represents or anything. Then there's different numbers, devil sea, whatever that means, I guess talks about. But there's different ley lines that goes across the world. You can see.
Yes.
And there's, part of the United States, you can see Kentucky and Indiana, Ohio, Florida. And damn, look at that one down there in Cuba and the Bahamas.
Yep, there you go. That's probably where the Bermuda Triangle is.
Yeah, right. I never noticed that one before. That's interesting.
There you go. Intersection galore.
Wow, that's very interesting. Then of course you got Washington D.C. where they had a bunch of them there. But it's just interesting that how they built a lot of things that laid on ley lines.
Right. And the
Oh, they're
intersect.
crazy. So, I'm glad you found the channel, the Search Angela Ford. Yes, absolutely. So, Lady Wolf, was it Alfred Watkins? It could be. I would ask Alexa again, but it's going to tell me who did the telephone. But probably have to Google that. I think you're right if going off memory, but my memory's
Thank you,
not too
Lady
good.
Wolf.
But yeah, it's interesting how they found that. So, but it's interesting because I think they use scientific devices to find that they had EMF fields and energy fields during those ley lines, right? So they can follow those ley lines across the globes and across the ocean. So that was interesting. Now, did they have healing power?
They can. There's certain places that are on ley lines that are very healing.
Hello, Lynn. Welcome to the show.
Like what healing waters and healing energetic places. Yes.
I wonder if that's because is it the molecules that are changing, or is it just the frequency? You think?
I think it's the both. I
Interesting.
am not an expert. There's my disclaimer, but I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay, I didn't know. I was just, it's interesting because we talk about frequencies and vibrations on a lot of other shows, the paranormal and cryptid shows and infrasound and so forth, and so we know that they use it in medicine, in treating certain types of cancer, and we also know that the government and law enforcement agencies use it to disperse crowds and to manipulate people to cripple them instead of using lethal force. So that's why I'm saying everything is possible. It's not like we have an encyclopedia that gives us all the actual facts.
Right.
So,
And everything is frequency and vibration. I mean, look at Einstein's theories,
right. Yeah. Standing stones, that sound cannon. Yeah, that is correct. We talked about that on previous shows.
And then there's, I just saw a show on, I forget what it's called, something where people that were in another country and sound hurt them. It made their brain, it was hitting them, and it happened to dignitaries and stuff over in other countries. And they physically had brain damage from it.
Yes, yes. We actually showed a clip on one of the shows where the government, it was a non-government agency, but the government had it. The government had it. Well, they showed the demonstration, I think 15 or 18 years ago on future weapons. And we know the technology is far more advanced now where they got handheld devices. But we showed a video clip where a guy was at the other end of the parking lot and he was like, "Ah!" And you couldn't even hear anything. So, and that reminds me of the dog whistle.
Right.
Dog whistle, right, goes off frequencies that we cannot hear, but allegedly the dog can hear.
Right.
So, Crazy Witch says the Havana syndrome. So,
Yes, that's what I was. Thank you, Crazy Witch.
So, yeah.
But,
So yeah, I do believe in that stuff. Absolutely.
and it can heal and it can harm. Frequencies can heal and harm. Just like there's crystal sound baths, with the crystal bowls. That's very healing. And each bowl has a different tone. And, and different tones are healing. And then a lot of times, if you have like two intersections of the dragon lines where there is like waters, the waters are more potent, they say.
Really?
Yeah.
Now they use sound weapons in 1009 at the G20 in Pittsburgh in the USA. In 10,009. You mean 1999? Maybe it was 1999. So you meant to put. He had to look that up also.
Oh, okay.
So, well, I told you I'm not good with date. 2009 he meant. So yeah, it was 18, 19 years ago. So that's probably about right. So yeah. So, but we know the government came out with it long before that. So you know how they are. They always hide stuff from us.
Well, and then in World War II, Germany did all kinds of experiments with sound and stuff like that too.
Yes. Yeah, and I always said a long time ago, thank goodness that they did not exist now and than they did back then, because the technology they have access to today, that's what's very scary.
Oh,
Especially
yeah,
with the scientists, right?
totally.
Does anyone remember back in the 80s, there's an Unsolved Mysteries episode where people were hearing the high-pitched noise with the dizziness? Yes, I do remember
Yes.
that. We actually, was it 10 or 15 years ago, the Earth was humming,
Yes.
and people still cannot, to this day, figure out why they were hearing that hum. Now, I remember in my early 20s, I never forget, I was right before I bought my first house. Maybe I was 18 or 19. It was my early, right? You know, it's my early 20s. It was right out of high school, I think. And I came out and I heard a trumpet. And ladies and gentlemen, when I heard this trumpet, I mean, it came from the sky. And I thought it was Revelations. And still to this day, I was not the only one that heard this. And it was so loud, it sounded like it came from the heavens. And I mean, people were like freaking out, getting into their cars. It wasn't like somebody opened up a window and was like, ah. I mean, it sounded like something angelic. But anyways, there are people around the world that still hear a humming vibration sound, but it wasn't like the one from 10 or 15 years ago. Yes, the humming started in Sweden. That is correct. Yes. Yeah, Stingray. I'll never forget that sound. I cannot replicate it. It was a very humble sounding. They were saying the tectonic plate, standing stones, is false. Yeah, I don't think it's tectonic plates.
No.
I was in the UK and a few other places. Yeah, that is correct. And it was what was really weird is that the scientists and all the governments was trying to put a lid on that. That was really strange. Crazy Witch says that the ancient Metholithic constructions resonate at 110 hertz. So maybe you're right. That I don't know. There are videos of trumpet soundings coming out of the skies from all over the world. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like a trumpet. But it was like an angelic trumpet, and it was so loud it literally vibrated your body, and we thought the world was ending right there.
Wow.
Women were crying, guys were like, well, using foul language, didn't know what the hell was going on. We were trying to rationalize stuff, but it was coming from up and not like somebody out a window. That
Right.
was really weird. I mean, that's how loud it was. But yes. Stingray, Herb Alfer is on tour right now. Just saying, we'd love to see him. I'm like, where's Stingray? You come out of the woodwork with some off the wall fly stuff. You crack me up. But yes, so vibrations and frequencies, that is correct. So,
Well, I had a girlfriend that lived in Taos, and she heard the hum. Taos gives off a hum all the time. She eventually moved from there, but she says it was a constant hum. And she said it got so bad it was hard to sleep.
see, I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle it. People with tendonitis, I couldn't handle that either. You know, I mean, I already got ringing in my ears for doing stupid stuff when I was younger and on the PD, you know, from time to time. And, you know, but yeah, I just couldn't handle that. So, yeah, I couldn't. But they never did figure that out, though, did they?
No.
Because I know there were people trying to travel all around trying to track that down, and they never could. They never could trace it.
And another thing that I remember, it doesn't have to do with sound, but my mom said before the World War II, the war, they said they saw holograms in the sky, like real flags, before the war started.
Oh, wow. Saying once again, it shows how far military had technology before it was released. See? So, yes, because the technology they have now with holograms is so far advanced, you cannot tell the difference between reality or fake. You cannot. That's how advanced it is. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, let me pull up the video. They showed me this on a national show. Let me see if I can find the video of one hologram. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when they showed me this on a national show, I thought it was a joke at first. I told them I would probably fall down and pray to God. Let's see here.
Interesting.
Yeah, it would literally. I cannot fathom. I found it. I cannot fathom walking down a street and seeing this. All right, let me see if I can back it up here.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. Let's see here. Of course, it's showing me everything but that. I wanted a wider picture of it. It's showing me TikTok video, so I wanted the actual YouTube video. But this will work. Let's see if I can pause it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me share my video here.
Okay.
This time I'll make sure and hit audio. Now this is in Dubai, ladies and gentlemen, Dubai.
Wow. Amazing.
The YouTube video is better because it shows a whole picture, your whole screen.
Right.
But when they're like, have you seen the videos of the whales? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's somebody on a surfboard or something getting whacked around with the tail. And they show me this video, and I'm like, you know what I would do? I would fall to the ground and start praying. They're like, that's they're like, this actually happened. And I'm like, this is not CG. I'm like, no, it's a hologram. And this made national news. I'm like, how did I not see this? And I was like, wow. So, yeah. So, and they're not only done this, but they have done other animals and they have done other things. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if you're talking to World War II, and that shows me 30 to 50 years, right? Minimum, they said, in advanced technology. So, but Native Americans built medicine wheels on ley lines. How do they know? They felt the energy, see? I knew
Yes.
Russell was still out there. So, yeah. But they also have, and Lady Wolf, and this is where that they're going to say this is where we're going to be invaded by aliens. And they're going to use the holograms to do this. And then the bad aliens are supposed to save us. And that's another story, another show. But yes, they're going to.
Oh,
it gets really deep, Lady Wolf. It really does. So some claim the jet G's during 9/11 were holograms with sound. I'm not going to comment on this show on that. I have my own standing stones. Why do you do this to me? Because, once you pull my string, I can't stop. I'm like that Teddy Ruxpin commercial. Can we be friends? You remember that? But anyways, I hate when somebody pulls my strings and I want to talk, but I can't. But anyways, one thing I was telling Kelly before the show, Chance Engelbert. We did that on our true crime podcast, true crime show, about him turning up missing. It was that cowboy. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, I had somebody, friends of the family, reached out to me last night or night before last and asked a few questions. And I knew by the way that they were asking questions, they did not see part 2 of the show. And I was like, uh-oh. And I was like, you need to watch part 2. And they're like, that's what we're wanting to know because the family members are wanting to know. And I'm like, well, you need to go watch it. So anyways, so they're supposed to be sending me some information that's pertinent to the case, which Kelly and the other ones have already announced. So if you're watching the show, make sure I gave you my email, send me that information, please. But yeah, Denise, they were so real. People that were walking on that sidewalk in Dubai, however you say it, did not know Dubai, right? They did not know what was going on. They did not know what was happening. They were like, what the hell? And that's what they were filming. They're like, I mean, did you not see that whale come out of the water that looked real, the water coming off of it? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I would fall on my knees and start praying to whatever God did you believe in. I would. I'm sorry. I mean, if you can make whales look like that, what would you do if it was a demon or a creature or alien or, like you said, UFO? I probably would have died. So, yes. So, but they also have one of the things I showed on another show too, Kelly, is that I can be talking here and I can talk into a crowd of 10,000 people and you won't even know the difference.
Wow.
That's how good the holograms are. Oh, yes. And they got this, well, they show it on the YouTube or whatever video. It's a box. But I know they don't need the box. But they're just showing you just as an illusion that they can duplicate a person to where you can be anywhere in the world and not actually be there. So it was pretty interesting.
Wow.
So I know Standing Stones, it's coming. I know it's coming. But we'll be right back after this commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got Kelly Jo's Gmail at the bottom and her website. Make sure and check her out. She's available. Contact her anytime. But thank Russell for telling us about the ley lines.
Yes, thank you.
Because we know my Alexa is not going to tell us about anything besides telephone lines. But Crazy Witch saying, imagine having a TV that's in 3D for real instead of illusion 3D. They already have it. They got to, you know. So, Russell says, do you think Bigfoot take their young to state parks and learn about humans, traveling many miles to do so, 30 to 50? I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, and we're another species, and you know, they're probably as curious about us as we are about them.
Yeah, I think they're like, hey, son, you want to go to the zoo and want to have some fun? Come on.
Yeah.
I think they do. So I think the bears get a bad rep, Russell, for parks, stealing food and stuff. I think it's Bigfoot, my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
I think they watch bears over the years. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. They're getting free food. We get free food. The bears don't know how to do what we can do. So, yeah.
And then point to the bear and say the bear did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I do. I think a lot of people blame Bigfoot on Bigfoot. I think a lot of people blame bears on their food.
Right.
Going missing. I think it's Bigfoot. So.
Well, I had a Bigfoot experience one time. I was camping out in the Swanee River Swamp campground, and I had a bowl of chili that I had in the cooler by the front of the tent, and woke up, and well, there was the spoons and there was the chili and whole trail of the food outside the tent.
Oh, wow. Well, we had a story the other night, Kelly, that we had some loggers. It's not funny, but we had loggers that had a bunch of burritos, and that tells you the ethnic background, right? And Sasquatch evidently did not like the burritos because of spices, and they got totally mad and retaliated and scared these workers so bad they were fighting and arguing to get the helicopters to get them the hell out of the woods. That's how bad it got, because people don't understand Bigfoot don't eat spices. And burritos, some of the burritos, I'm not trying to laugh, but some of the burritos you eat do not have, or burritos have spices in them.
Right. So
Bigfoot was not happy. But these workers were scared, and none of them came back. None of them came back to work. They all quit. So this poor logger was like, had to go get all new employees. I mean, how do you tell people that you need new employees? What happened to your old employees? I mean, how do you explain that to them?
You can't.
So, but yeah. So Stingray says he knows all about Swanee River. Are you going to sing to us? So, but no, it's. I do. I think there's a lot of things about vibrations that we still need to learn about, and frequencies. I think Sasquatch and Bigfoot, I think they're a whole lot more intelligent than what people believe in.
Oh,
that's just my opinion.
I agree. I believe that they have a soul. I believe that they are probably more intelligent than we are. And I believe that they go in and out of the portals and the vibrations. You know, they know how to do portals. Go in and go out. Yeah,
there's more to them than what. Now, if you'd have told me that 20 years ago, I'd probably look at you a little funny. But now, no.
And they have whole families, and they have places that they've lived forever. I mean, up in Michigan, what did we call him? The brown furry man or whatever. Down here, it's the swamp ape.
Swamp ape or skunk ape or something.
Oh yeah, and that Sasquatch that came and got the chili, oh, he smelled like a skunk.
Did he?
Ugh, yeah. And it still stunk the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't like the chili. Was it spicy?
No, it wasn't spicy. Oh, another thing that was weird, over to the side, there was all these white turkey feathers.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder why that is.
I had no idea, but a whole circle of white turkey feathers. That was so strange.
I wonder what that represents. Russell, does that represent anything that you know of that
Yeah,
you
you
learned?
know anybody that's Sasquatch hunters, ask them.
I wonder why they would leave white feathers in a circle.
I have no idea.
That's strange. It made me stop and think about it for a second. But you know, turkey chili, Lady Wolf. I knew something was going to come.
Oh, okay. No, it had nothing. It was beef chili, but I get it.
So I wonder if people gifted, because a lot of people gift these creatures, which I don't. That's a different story, but
Well,
gift,
maybe he
feed,
was leaving me a gift for the chili of feathers. You never know.
No, was it a bunch of feathers?
Yeah, it was a whole big circle, like the size of a sleeping bag.
Oh wow. Hmm.
In a full nice circle.
Well, so you know they had to take some intelligence to do that then.
Yeah. White turkey feathers, all white.
That's strange. Crazy Witch, we had an albino wild turkey around here for a few years. What happened to it? I seen a few albino deer before when I used to deer hunt. Never would take them though. Russell, feathers are a special gift, circle of life. Well, there you go.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, Lady Wolf says maybe it was making a comfy bed for you. Seriously.
You never know.
That's interesting. Yeah, once you smell that smell, you never will get rid of it in your head.
No. Worse than a skunk.
Yeah, see, no.
I love doing these shows because we go on whatever topic we land on.
Yeah, I know. We start on one, then we go to another. Yeah. Standing Stones was trying to get me on one subject, almost got me, but we didn't get there. So, Stingray says could have been a swan.
Swan feathers. I had white turkeys when I was a kid, and I know what turkey feathers look like.
Hello, Aussie. Welcome to the show. So, that's interesting. What other paranormal experiences have you had?
Oh, I've had a lot. I've always seen spirits, no matter where I go, I told you about going to that little town in Arizona and how the cave-in happened and all the spirits came up and went down the mountain, and one came along with us, had to send it through the light, but it was like the Temple of Doom, all the spirits chasing us. It's like, okay, but I was warned before I went there. There was a guy all dressed in white sitting on the stoop, and it says, oh, he goes, be careful, girly girl. He goes, some are goods and some are bad. It's AC/DC. He says, you be careful going there. And so we went all the way up the mountain, and we went to that little mining town. And boy, I said, something bad happened here. So And all the spirits came to talk to me.
Wow.
And then I can go to like hotels and have stuff happen. Like I was in Oregon and went to this old hotel, and I asked, I freaked the clerk out. I said, yeah, I said, you do see a cowboy all dressed in black. I'll call him Black Bart. He goes, how do you know that? I said, I'm a medium. I said, you got a little girl flushing all the toilets in the bathroom. She's wearing a little blue dress. And then in Colorado, my girlfriend and I went to a famous hotel and had dinner. And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing, and I see two ghosts walking around, and all of a sudden, the cowboy sat next to my girlfriend, and then the little girl that was like in a flapper outfit with a little feather, you know how they had the band? Well, she put her spirit hand through my girlfriend's head, and I was laughing and giggling. And she goes, "Ooh, I feel woozy." I said, "You just got slapped." I could, by a female ghost because she thinks that you're after her boyfriend. She goes, "Oh, that's why I feel so funny." I was giggling and laughing. But I just have stuff happen all the time. Going to out west to Tombstone, I was picking up on all the different shootouts, and I could hear them playing cards. And we went to the bird cage, and you could hear shuffling of cards. You could hear coins. You could smell the cigar smoke, and you could hear shooting. People that get mad at each other, and all that. It's just fun. I've seen weird ships in the sky driving out west, like aliens, saw spaceships, and they did a whole dance for me in the sky. They did a whole circle. Had one follow my car for like 50 miles.
I am not going out with Kelly. That lady, well, that's not amazing. No, wow. That is crazy.
My friends are just used to me, like I did in South Carolina, I did a haunted tour, and I was telling them what was coming up before the tour guide could tell us. It was just a lot of fun.
Unbelievable. I feel woozy. Hey, you just got slapped. Oh, that is so funny. I could not imagine having that ability just to see stuff like that.
Oh, it's just and sometimes it's so real. It's like I call it flipping time. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll be flipped right back to like 1920s, and I see the cars and the people and hear the noises and everything. It's like a movie.
Wow.
And I do not need a rubber padded cell.
Oh, that's funny. That cracks me up. That is something else. So let me throw up your website again, so make sure, and your email, so I can get a hold of you there. And we'll figure out and surprise everybody for the next show next week. And you got any plans for tonight, or you got another agenda you got to go to, or?
Nope, I'm just gonna chill out and
good.
Not do too much tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty warm down there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good.
Well, I thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I cannot, like I said, I just cannot. I am not going out with you ever.
Oh, my friends loved it. They always had a ball. It's like, what adventures are we going to have?
Oh, I could imagine that part, because you never know, right? Never a dull moment.
Nope.
So that is hilarious. Well, I hope everybody has a good night and Godspeed, and we'll catch you on the next show. Good night, everybody. Bye.